Okay, so let's start with the first talk, When More Secure is Less Secure by Maciej Ostaszewski. So here we go.
Hello, I'm Maciej Ostaszewski and I'm working as DevOps engineer for the last 4 years. I would like to talk about the policies that are usually you can find it in the big companies, corporate rules, but also on the small websites. And the first one I would like to talk is about the password. Usually, if you have to generate password, your password have to be unique. You have to have small caps, large caps, numbers, special characters. And usually there is also an expiration policy, so you have to change the password every month, every year, every few months. And usually you have the minimal length of the password and maximal length. So there are some rules of the password. And for example, the rules can look like this one. And so, what is the problem? Okay, your password is secure, but for example, there is something, there is some schema of generating the password. This is called the diceware, and it looks like this. You have the real dices. You throw these dices, and according to the numbers that are displayed on these dices, you will set up the password. There is a list of the list of the words, and this schema is very secure because the password is very, very long, but it's easy to remember because this is a dictionary words. And it's very strong and everything is okay. But the problem is that it is completely useless because you cannot use this password on any website or anything because it's too long. It's usually only small caps. There's no special characters except the dash, and so on. So this is the first thing that, okay, you try to be more secure. So you will not allow your users to use the simple password, but it will also block the more advanced users to use the more advanced schema. Rotation. User change the password. User have to change the password every month. So usually user has the last number, and the last number is the current month. If you user have to, and this is not only my imagination, because look at the question that I found on the Facebook page. Do you change your work frequently, or maybe number at the end of your password is 2-digit number? So another thing I want to talk is the environment. The administrators and DevOps usually try to set up the environment that this is a very secure environment, and no one has access that is not needed, and so on. But the problem is that users, and especially the developers who know some things and know how to circumvent these restrictions, they will try to do this. And for example, this is the next question. This is the next question from the Facebook. Do you know? Hey, some of you may have the same problem. How to circumvent the firewall? The problem is that everything is blocked. IP4 and IP6, and I don't know how to circumvent it. So the user will try to do this. And what are the consequences? I had 2 examples. The one was the company that the developers had 2 computers. One for the development and one for the office work. And from the development computer, users cannot access. Okay.
Well, that's how it works. Sorry. All right, so Paweł? Yeah, Paweł is with talk. No, the Paweł, tak, Paweł is here. Yeah, and Peter gets ready. Okay, so Paweł has another talk. I hope this won't be interrupted this time. Yeah, who knows? Dev, I am your DevOps. No. This cannot be true.
Hello again. I'm boring you, I know. Okay, so I would like to tell a little bit more about how to work being a DevOps and being in the team or around the team, etc. So basically, this is the last text you see. Okay, so this is one of the models. I'm calling this, I even don't know how to call it, but you have some person, basically DevOps, who is the smartest guy. He knows everything. He knows even better than everything, more than everything, better than anyone else. If not him, then his colleague. And this is how it works. So nobody can start with his own ideas because he knows better, right? Will this work? Not so sure. Or something like this. This is not someone who, well, he is also the guy who knows everything, but he's not trying to convince everyone that he's the best one. He's doing everything. So nobody else is doing anything because why, right? Another option is something like this. So you are DevOps in the team of developers, but you are some kind of strange thing there, right? So you not necessarily are part of the team. You are excluded. Another options, and you can find those options in all of 3 of those who I present you, is something like this. So you are a DevOps in the team, and you are doing everything what this team wants. Because why not? Because you cannot say that this is stupid, you cannot present your own ideas, you need to do what they want. Right? What can be different? So this is exactly the first example, right? So you are the smartest one, you are saying you need to do it this way because I'm saying that. And this is the reason why. So it will not work, right? Basically, it will devastate the team. And we want to build high-performing teams. So what can we improve? Maybe something like this. So you are in the team. Basically, yes. But still, you are creating some kind of understanding that you are different. Maybe better, maybe not, but you are different. And you try to maybe not lead, but convince the team that you are doing good things, and they just have to clap on your work. So maybe 2 teams. Development team and DevOps teams. Will this work? It depends. It's my most beloved answer as a DevOps. It depends. Basically, from my experience, it will not work. Because on the beginning, it is okay. But in time, it starts to be different areas of interest, different goals to achieve. So the DevOps team will create something and will say, do it, use it, or just go away. It's not like something, not exactly how the DevOps should work. So now will be the beautiful part, how we should work. I believe in this. So we are part of the team. We are not higher, we are not lower, we are just the team member. And this is the only way to success. Okay? So what we need to remember, that we need to listen. We need to observe, not watch, observe what's going on. We need to analyze, think. Why not? Thinking has future, some say. And this is the way how we should work. Oh no, sorry. Yes, exactly. So this is the way how we should work. And that's why I do not believe that this is the solution, but this is.
Right on time. Okay, Peter. So who's DevOps in the room? Raise your hand. Who's DevOps? Not working as a DevOps. Who's DevOps? Okay, so Peter will present infrastructure level solutions, Istio in applications code out. Yep.
Okay. Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Petar Radosavljevic and today I will present infrastructure level solutions. And these kind of solutions will solve typical application networking concerns, but on the infrastructure layer or on the operation layer. So before we dive in, this is an agenda. We'll go through steps how one simple application becomes complex and how we should manage this kind of application. The DevOps role has never been exciting than today because of variety of tools, and with these kind of solutions we can bring efficiency and improvements in our team. The basis of this is cloud. Cloud gives us a way to transform old monolithic applications into the microservice architecture. And the microservice architecture improves the developer efficiency. Companies found a way to automate the business processes in order to address the business demands. And everything sounds perfect. We are working with microservices, everything is cool. But how times go on, micro is not micro anymore because the services are getting bigger and bigger in order to address a wide range of platforms, devices, and things like that. So one day we happened a debate about the new feature, and we see that the feature itself is not a problem, but the problem is the system around that feature. The security, the tracing, the deployment, and things like that. So we find the problem. The problem is that the our mesh becomes too complex, and it's hard to identify the bottlenecks if something's go wrong. And if we take a look in the, let's say, time that we spent in one sprint, we see that developers have only 55, let's say, % of time spending on solving the business values. That's why I want to show you the solution with service meshes, and today we are talking about Istio. Istio is open source service mesh, and as you can see from the traditional architecture, it's worked by injecting the Envoy sidecar. It's typically split in two planes. One is data, one is a control plane, and we'll see on concrete examples how it will help us. So first of all, it will help us in order to bring developers only to develop business values and not to think about some other things. And also, it will provide necessary capabilities for any cloud-native architecture. So if you take a look of this typical traffic route of that mesh, it's a little bit complex, but this complex make it smart. So let's take a look on concrete examples where we can get rid of applications code. First of all, we already were in situation to spend a lot of time implementing some security in our applications, but with Istio you can have a citadel which provides necessary cryptographical identity to all the services in the mesh. Another one, typical for IoT scenario, is when you have Istio in front of your mesh, you have options to block all requests in front of your mesh. When we are talking about scalability, with Istio you have some default metrics, and you don't want to implement complex counters inside your code. So again, you can do it with Istio. Tracing and troubleshooting is also easier with Istio because you have a better visibility and observability what is happening in your mesh. And another example is traffic control. We already see in the previous presentations that guys are talking about canaries and about a solution where we can route a big percentage of traffic to the old version instead of the new one. And at the end, I want to say that the future of networking is in this kind of service meshes. Guys are working on version 2 architecture by incorporating the learnings and feedbacks from users. I want to thank you all, and you can see this for some helpful resources, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Actually, this was the perfect ignite. This is how they usually should look like, but we're not so strict. Yeah, and now Artur. Yes, Artur will tell us continuous delivery introduction. So very fast, 5-minute introduction into. Oh, yes. Oh, and by the way, I think, yeah, if someone wants to present and is not on the list yet, you can still write down your topic because we'll have enough time for that. Not right now. Maybe. Yep.
I'm ready. Hello, everyone. I have a talk about continuous integration, continuous delivery. I want to introduce you into this topic. First, I will introduce myself, just 2 words about myself. I was a Java developer until I discovered that, in fact, I'm DevOps. I was always working with the systems, with the operating systems and Java. I was working for many corporations. Recently, I'm implementing CI/CD philosophy into company that is delivering products to networks of big retailers like Carrefour, Smyk, Empik, and so on. Today, I will try to introduce you into this philosophy that is very complex. It's not a product, it's not a solution, it's really a philosophy. I will go quickly through stages of CI/CD, and that's all. So what is continuous delivery? As I said, it's not a product, it's not a solution, it's not the pattern, it's a very complex thing that in consequences will lead you to the topics of cloud computing and distributed systems. It was an answer for the most burning thing in the life of developer, of preparations of installations versions of your software. For instance, we have a network of 750 servers in the whole of Poland working for Carrefour, and we need to simultaneously put a new version, new update on all these servers, which is pre-configured for each of the nodes in different manner. So we found out that continuous delivery is the answer for our needs. We are using GitLab Runner as the solution, but you can use other technology that is orchestrating CI/CD platform. In basic, it have 4 big stages. First is building, second is tests, and here is the end of the continuous integration. There is a strict edge, strict borderline between these two topics. Now we are coming into 3rd stage, is a release, preparations and publishing of new version, and deployment. Very complex issue. Basically, to enable your application, your system, you need to edit just 3 files. One is optional. One is just to include our script. The second is Docker file, which is defining a configuration for your image of your application. And Docker Compose, which is setting a execution environment variables. The philosophy is very complex. We found 7 stages of CI/CD, but today I discovered there is 8th one, about which I will tell you later. So let's name it. It's the first stage is development, second building, test, publishing, configuration, deployment, monitoring, and 8th is defend. First stage is a development. This is something we cannot automate. All other stages are usually highly automated or fully automated and can go without intervention of humans. So this thing is for the friendliness to the developer to have just click a button and observe how the whole CI/CD process is going. We can support it through a variety of tools. We do it in Java and Spring 2. Our building system is based on Maven, and the CI/CD is orchestrated by GitLab Runner. Second stage is building. This is fully automated thing. We use, okay. Yes. Just at the end, if you are interested in other stages and and things like that, I invite you to Katowice on beginning of year. I have a presentation and workshop, technical workshop about this issue. Thank you very much.
All right. So, the next one. How to kill, yeah, get on the stage. So it's Walmyr? Yes. Walmyr. Okay, so how to kill software quality in 5 steps, yeah. I know the word, but yep. Ready? No.
All right, so today I'm here to talk about how to kill software quality in 5 steps. My name is Walmyr. I'm the one that is originally from Brazil, but I have Polish roots, which is a pleasure to be here then. The origin of this talk is this blog post that I wrote on my Medium account. So if you search for how to kill software quality in 5 steps, you find this article that I wrote in 2016, which was based on a talk that I saw in DevOpsDays in Oslo. That was how to kill DevOps in 5 steps. A little bit about me. I'm a senior software engineer in test at GitLab. And this presentation, I will make it public on SlideShare or somewhere else. And there are links to my GitLab profile if you want to stay in touch. So let's get started. The first step to kill software quality is to don't care about design patterns and clean code. So if you have read these 2 books, forget about what they say, don't follow what they suggest. Instead, write as much spaghetti code as possible. So with that I mean, in some parts of the code you should write the code in one way, and in other parts where you would write similar things, you write them in a completely different way. You make things confusing. Also refuse linting tools because they block your creativity. Second step is to not test your application. So instead of code, test, and deploy, skip testing, just code and deploy to production. And if you want to test, don't do it in an automated way because this is a completely waste of time. Test it manually and test just what you changed or what you added. Don't do any kind of regression testing. It's another waste of time. Third step, avoid refactoring. So don't try to clean the code. Don't try to make it more robust. Don't try to make the structure of the code better than it was before. Instead, leave the campground dirtier than you found it. You may have heard of the Boy Scout rule, so this is the opposite. The fourth step is to not use continuous integration. This step is quite easy to follow if you are following step 2, where you are not testing because you don't have anything to run on CI. Instead, make the feedback loop as difficult as possible. This way, no one can blame you when you break something, because your change will go together with so many changes because it takes so much time to deploy that if you break something, they will not know that it was your change that broke it in production. And step 5 is never listen to users' feedback because in the end, they never know what they want anyway. So recapping, do not care about design patterns and clean code. Forget about all of that. Do not test your code, and if you do, test it only manually. Avoid refactoring. Leave the campground dirtier than you found it. Don't forget about it. Don't use CI, and never listen to the users. So if you follow these 5 steps, I guarantee you that you will kill the software quality of your project. Thank you.
Thank you. All the truth. Yep. Tam jest przejściówka jedna i jakby nie działała, to najwyżej spróbujemy drugą. Ona powinna działać. So who's leaving today after 6 p.m.? No one? Oh, everyone leaves before 6 p.m.? What about the open spaces? Who's staying for open spaces? Come on. Okay, shy people. You have to stay. You have to stay. All right, so now Katarzyna with stupid, smart things.
Okay, I didn't plan it to present anything, but I'm addicted to cortisol. I will show you just a few examples of the stupid IoT present on the market. So let's go. Icon, the smart condom. It's measuring how many calories you are burning. I know that is the most important. And how long it's take your session, what is the frequency, how many positions are you testing during the weeks, and all of that. It will be sold from 2020. It will cost 60 pounds at the beginning. And what for it is created because finally all the men around the world can compare to each other. Maisatis, this is Japanese toilet. It's the real product on the market, very popular because Japanese people don't like to touch their toilet, and now they can use it with their mobile phone. The best thing is that it is working with Bluetooth, so everybody who is close enough to your bathroom can control your toilet. So pen testers say that it can cause discomfort and distress to user. Smart straightener, for non-English speaker, it means prostownica do włosów. What is funny with that? It's the same like the toilet. It's the Bluetooth, of course, no any authentication. But the most funny is that it can be very hot and you can set the fire in the apartment just connecting from your mobile phone to the Bluetooth without any authentication. So really nice. This is the most famous meme about the IoT. The fridge who is talking, don't forget to buy the milk. Of course, it's not so easy to do, so there is the smart fridge cam. Close the eyes and try to imagine where to put the cam in your fridge to make the photo when it is closed. Because it's showing what is in your fridge on your mobile phone when you are, for example, in the shop. So it looks like that because the conditions in the fridge are not perfect for the camera. And the best things is that you probably never check it, but Wi-Fi it's not working inside the fridge. So it's very rare when it's working at all. And the final. It's difficult to translate. This is real mobile application. Where is my sheet? in English. What for it is? It is to promote the server and septic system in Jaworzno city. So it's working in only this one city, and you can share your result on Facebook. Thank you.